What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's special live with our friends from LeadZolo. We got Drew, we got Cody. What's going on, guys?
RJ, what's up?
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
everybody.
It's been a while since Drew's been on the channel. It's like a year ago you came on with me and Cassie. And then we got our new friend down here, Cody Morris. Cody, why don't you introduce yourself and explain your role with LeadZolo?
Of course, yeah. Lucky to be on here with RJ and Drew. So yeah, what's up, guys? I'm the COO over here at LeadZolo. So anything you guys have to do with LeadZolo, I'm in the background making sure that y'all are taken care of. So excited to be here and to share a little bit more today.
Well,
yeah,
and I'm a quality over quantity kind of guy. So I definitely not been around, but the reason is we've been really navigating the lead gen industry for the last year, and we've had a tremendous amount of new ideas and new ways of running our company. So I'm really excited to kind of talk about that. And then let's just give away a whole bunch of fucking money today. Do you guys want to do that? That'd be kind of cool. So let's do that.
So here's the thing. You guys know I'm all about competition. I think competition breeds greatness. You guys meet with Nick, once a week, once every other week about what's happening with LeadZolo and the students inside of Titanium University. And Nick comes to me and he's like, dude, LeadZolo's got this awesome thing going on. We had this plan live that we were going to come in and talk about PPO regulations, right? Well, I'll ask you guys about it, but I think y'all have a pretty simple solution on it, so we don't need to beat a dead horse there, right? And he's like, they're doing these games, the LeadZolo games. And I'm like, dude, you got me at games. Like, how do I win? Can I add another trophy to the trophy case over here? So explain, Drew, what are the LeadZolo games?
Yeah. So this is just exciting. Let me try and figure out. Let's share my screen.
All right.
Don't show these tips again. This could get interesting. There we go. All right, the LeadZolo games. This is what we want to do. So the lead gen industry's changed a lot. TCPA, blah blah blah. We can talk about all that stuff. We have a 45-minute interview with our lawyer. We can, you guys are going to send it with Nick. That's all great. So a lot's going on. What we wanted to do is re-inspire everybody in the industry with some confidence now that regulations have been looked after, and we can feel super good about inbound leads. A lot of outbound is dead. So there's more emphasis on inbound leads. So we want to just give away a bunch of money in February. What we're going to do is literally everybody on the platform. If you're already on the LeadZolo platform, you're already in the games. If you're not on the platform, just book a call. It doesn't cost any money to get onto the platform. It costs money to buy leads. The idea is simply this. For everybody who buys leads in February, we're going to give you bonuses to work towards. So, for example, the person who closes the most amount of contracts, total number of contracts in the month of February, we are going to give you $5,000. So plain and simple, leads you buy in February, contracts you close on them, you upload the HUD in a very simple form. We count them hand one by one. We're going to count them, every single one. We're going to update this beautiful leaderboard, and the person's going to win $5,000 in LeadZolo credits. Second place, $2,000. Now, we also know that there's going to be people like RJ who's just going to go dump $80,000 and buy $35 leads and call 16 hours a day. And so it's going to be a little hard maybe to compete up here for some people. So we're going to do highest close rate. So if somebody wants to buy 20 leads and you close 2 contracts and have a 10% close rate, should be feeling pretty good about that. Right? Maybe go follow up on those 18 leads for the rest of February and get another 2 contracts out of it and try and get a 20% close rate, because then you can be in the runnings for highest close percentage off of your leads. Again, just leads generated in the month of February. Top prize, we're going to give them $3,000. Second prize, $1,000. Then we're going to do fastest lead to contract. So it'll be the time you receive the lead to the time the DocuSign was sent back to you. So that's how we're going to track that. This one I'm most excited for, only because I've seen somebody make $100,000 or sign a contract worth $100,000 in 16 minutes on stage with a laptop on a stool. So there's this one's going to get pretty exciting, I think. And then the final drawing, we're just going to throw money at people. It's going to be really Oprah-esque. We're just going to draw HUDs out of the basket, and the top 5 we pull out, we're just going to dump money into those people's accounts. So plain and simple, we want to pay you to come sign contracts for the month of February, and so that everybody can get excited about lead gen again.
I love it. I love it, man. So let's scroll back up here to the to the first one is the most amount of contracts, right?
Yeah. Total contract signed.
So on this, is it contract signed or is it contract signed that lead to a closing?
Contracts signed for this time around. We do want to involve a dispo portion to this, but it'll probably be in future games when we kind of get our heads around that a little bit better. We'll probably partner with Investor Lift or somebody like that.
Gotcha. And then on the highest close rate, which I love the highest close rate, because this does allow people that maybe are solopreneurs, they don't have the budget, you could still win. I mean, $3,000. And like you're saying, so it's a minimum of 15 leads purchased.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. And then it's the highest close rate out of that, and then 1,000 for the second. And then fastest lead to contract time. So you're going to base that off of, if I buy the lead at 2:30 and then I close it at 2:40, my time is 10 minutes. I got to show you that I got a signed DocuSign at that time.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Dude. Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, I am winning number 3.
You need to set the time on day one so that everybody's got a time to beat.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna shoot for day 3 because I'll take this screen down. When is this officially starting? What's the first date of the LeadZolo games?
We're going to be launching February 1st, which is a Saturday. That'll officially be the launch of the LeadZolo games, and it'll be up. We'll be counting leads up until the 28th of February. Obviously, some contracts are going to come in like the first month of March.
First days of March.
Those don't count.
Yeah, first days of March. But so the contract does, as long as you're from a lead that was generated in the month of February.
So what's the cutoff date of it cannot count anymore?
If it's, we'll probably close it down 2 weeks into March.
Gotcha. Okay. So you have a few layover days, right, inside of March to get those deals closed.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be official cutoff time, and that's where everything will be tallied up. And you said there's going to be a leaderboard. So inside of LeadZolo's login, there'll be a leaderboard.
Yeah, the login leaderboard might not be ready right away for this game, so it will just be an email leaderboard coming out. But by the time this game is over, we'll have an internal leaderboard. We'll probably also post it on the website as well, so everybody will get to see. If you are participating in the games, expect your name to be on a leaderboard. Should you make it there? So we wanna make this fun.
And to be clear, you don't have to do anything to participate. You're just automatically, as long as you're buying leads in February, you're competing.
It's as simple as that. Yeah, it's just the only extra step you have to do is submit your HUD. And so if you go to LeadZoloGames.com, there'll be a link in there to submit your HUD, and we'll be emailing everybody on the platform quite regularly.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, this is awesome. I mean, so why are you doing this? You just want to give us a bunch of money?
Yeah, well, honestly, the whole TCPA thing was kind of made for a turbulent time at the end of last year. And I think a lot of people were kind of concerned. Like, I know I'm in a few masterminds myself, and I was in Hawaii with a group of amazing real estate investors, and they were all sitting around tables looking at each other going like, what are we getting into next? Like, is this the end of real estate? Like, it was heartbreaking. And so, we've come past that, right? And we now know what the regulations are. We now know the solve for the regulations. We now know that we can still operate. We just need to make sure that we're squeaky clean, just like any other industry. And that's totally fine. So we want to reignite the vigor and the excitement to get some leads and get some contracts and stop messing around. Like, let's get back to work. That's kind of the point here. So let's have some fun and do that.
I love this. Michelle said LeadZolo, making February fun again. There you go. Good stuff. So let's talk about the turbulent times there for a little bit. I mean, I would be a bad host if I didn't at least talk about this. I mean, like you said, that people were freaking out, right? Yeah. I mean, we're in family mastermind together. I saw the posts where people are like, what's going to happen to PBL? Is it dead? I even had to make the clickbaity, post, paper leads dead. And then, I said, of course not. my whole thing about what's happening is I felt in the long term, prices were going to increase and the quality of leads were also going to increase.
Yep.
Now that we're basically here, right? We're 4 days away from D-Day. What do you think, Drew? I mean, and Cody, I get your feedback on this as well. Are prices going to increase, and do you think the quality of leads is going to increase because of this?
So what's really important here is for everybody to take a step back and like understand the intent, right? The intent of everything that's happening here is that in America, they've decided that they're sick and tired of people getting spammed, is what it comes down to. So that's kind of what's coming around. It doesn't want this like regulated technology, so AI and robo dialers and all this, just spamming people at mass. So it's trying to get rid of that. What is that going to then do? Well, yes, it's going to get rid of spam. It's going to get rid of shitty leads kind of that are in the mix around the world, which is kind of nice. Are costs going to go up? Probably, right? Like agencies and companies are used to doing cold calling and text blasting and that kind of stuff. They're going to have to migrate somewhere. They're not all going to go to direct mail and urinal ads or whatever it is. They've got to come. They're going to start competing in the same ecosystems that the rest of us have to, which means on Facebook, on Instagram, on Google, or whatever it means. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's just great, right? Like iron sharpens iron. I think about it and we talk about it every single day in our company, is that prices might get a little bit higher, but exactly what you're saying, the quality is going to get higher. And it just means that we need to learn as business owners how to make more money per lead, right? And that's true to me because I'm paying more. But it's also true to you. Like you need to learn how to make more from your real estate transactions, like how you went from making, you know, an average of $5,000 per assignment fee 20 years ago to whatever it is now, 20 grand per assignment fee.
Right.
We all just have to adjust, and it's all relative, right? And just know that.
So I had this epiphany last week when I had property leads on here and we were talking to them about the changes that they made. It was pretty simple changes, you know, because they're mainly exclusive leads anyway. So it's a real simple solution for them. And as I was talking, it was like, all right, so when this all started, the knee-jerk reaction was that this is bad and that the prices are going to go up. But then I started thinking about it. All of these sellers that are currently getting cold called through robo dialers and these multi-line dialers, now that's a problem. If you read the regulation, that's really where it's directed, right? Where it's like, stop using the robo dialer.
Yep.
So that goes away. Well, that means all these sellers that we talk to that are saying, I'm getting killed every day with people calling me. Now they still have a house that they want to sell. They're so motivated. Doesn't that mean that maybe 6 to 9 months from now, we're going to have more people clicking on y'all's ads? We're trying to seek us out because we're not reaching out to them as much?
You're 100% right. Like that's exactly what it is, right? We like inbound leads, however you want to call it, PPL, SEO, all that kind of stuff. Right. It's already the most compliant form of lead generation as is. So you're right. It's just like hacking off the bottom stuff. And really it's just showing that it's just like, this is where we're all going to ascend to. It's like buying a Tesla, right? Like you're buying a Tesla knowing that like it's a cool car and it's worth the money and all this kind of stuff, but knowing that in 30 years, guess what? The stick shift Honda, it's not that it's going to be a shitty car, it's that it's not going to be allowed on the roads anymore. And so it's just about making that decision now and going, let's go 100% compliant and make sure it's inbound. Anything outbound is just going to not be compliant. Like Canada, for the last, I think it's been 11 years now, you can't cold call B2C in Canada or text blast or anything. It's been long gone. And even like direct mail is getting regulated up here. So it's like that, like, not that US always follows Canada, but like you can see where it's going in the world, right? So it is, everybody's going to have to ascend to inbound at one point. So it's about who can make the most of it now, I think, is who's going to win then.
Cody, you're newer to the LeadZolo team, newer by a couple months, right? What has been your experience with joining the LeadZolo team and kind of dealing with these times of like, hey, there's these regulations coming down? What have you been hearing from customers and things like that with your time with LeadZolo?
Yeah, I think that a lot of investors they're afraid, they're uncertain, and uncertainty happens when you see a big change like this. But actually, a lot of my background comes from coaching, consulting, and info products and things like that. And that's kind of how I met the guys through years ago. And so I saw a lot of that regulation happen, like Drew was saying, in the EU. So I had a few clients who work with the EU through the Brexit stuff and some of the things that EU did with data privacy and things like that. And it was actually pretty simple to navigate. Like Drew was saying, is you just cut off the bottom feeders, like any people who are doing things that are unsavory anyway. And my immediate thought, because I have a background in like building and managing a bunch of sales teams, it's actually how I knew Nick on your team. And my immediate thought was like, oh, this is just going to actually increase our contact rate. So like if we can have more compliant consent and people know who's going to be in correspondence with them, it's actually going to increase contact rate and therefore close rate. So I'm just always kind of like finding the silver lining. If I'm committed to something, which is why I'm so stoked about what we're doing at LeadZolo, I see that there's such longevity in the real estate industry. And yeah, it might change compliance, regulation, some of this hoops you have to jump through. But anytime that there's like some regulation or compliance, it actually means that there's more viability. There's more long-term viability in the industry. And so if you know, you're a good business person, you have ethics, you care about the people you want to help out, then you'll be in a good spot, right? It's the people who are trying to cut corners and try to find the shortcut, which is a lie. The people try to do that stuff. That's just what doesn't stick around. So I'm personally stoked.
I always think of like there's an analogy. It was in a meeting with a bunch of media buyers a while ago, and we were talking about a funnel that wasn't working. The guy was getting all kinds of leads, but they weren't closing the leads. A different space than this. Yeah. And somebody on the team brought up Dan Kennedy, and they're like, "Do you know what you have to do to speak to Dan Kennedy? You have to write a letter. You then have to mail the physical letter to his office. His office will then fax it to him to a fax machine that he checks once a week. He will then read it through the course of that week. And then back on fax day, he will fax it back to his office girl, who will then put it in an envelope and mail it back to you. And the reason is that Dan Kennedy doesn't want to speak to anybody who's not willing to jump to a bunch of hoops to speak to him, because that's what makes that person serious. And so I think it's the same thing with this. He has more compliance. Our forms have to be longer. There's more check boxes. There's more of this bullshit, but it just means that person's that much more serious about selling their home. So everybody wins.
Yeah, man. I was talking about this inside of one of TU's implementation calls, and you know, we were just going through all the details and what it meant. And it was hilarious because one of the guys goes, so it kind of instantly shows that this seller is more motivated than what we're getting right now, because they're literally saying like, yes, I'm okay with Titanium Investments reaching out to me, and they're giving that consent. So it's a sign of even more motivation. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. This is what we've been saying, that it shows that they're even more motivated. And as this has progressed, right, over the past couple of months, what's hilarious, I have made a decision in my company that I've cut all lead generation outside of PPO.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this. You know, Gene from Speed to Lead jokingly said all PPL providers should make a statue for me as being the leader in this industry from saying PPL is what you're supposed to do. He's like, everyone else is still holding on to the cold calling and direct mail.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, fuck all that. No, PPL only. Because I truly, I'm like, guys, I've been doing this for a decade, and I just know how bad it was before LeadZolo existed.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, dude, it was a pain in the ass to get a hold of an actual motivated seller.
It comes down to what the heart of the PPL industry is, right? Like when our model of PPL, the purpose for us on the back end is that we want to control all of media buying for you, so you don't have to deal with it. That's our value prop. And so that like you as RJ just worry about sales. And so like, yeah, absolutely. PPL companies, we've paid tens of thousands of dollars to all of our law firms and private consultants to fix this problem. Like, let us fix it for you. Let us take charge of that. And that's, I like that you say that. And a lot of people should think that way. And if you have an other agency, I would expect of them to have the answers and make sure that all of your leads are compliant.
I mean, here's the thing for me. I run two businesses, my wholesaling business and Titanium University. I have specific people in my life that are in charge of all of the media buying and all of the marketing, and I love them to death because that allows me to just do what I'm really good at, which is closing deals on the phone, doing wholesaling, and talking about how to do wholesaling, right? I mean, think about it. You guys are essentially my Nick. Nick here is the one that goes out and buys all the media to get wholesalers to come in and learn from Titanium University. You guys do the exact same thing. I am adamant on this. This is what the mindset of and the theory on PPO has to change with wholesalers.
I agree.
Y'all's job has to be to find someone in the United States that raises their hand and says, I have a house that I want to sell today.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all I want you to do. If you do that, then I can guarantee I will close somewhere, depending on the location and the market, 1 out of 7 to 1 out of 25, right? Then that just depends on if they're city, county-wide, statewide, nationwide. If it's nationwide, it's going to be somewhere in the range of 1 out of 7, 1 out of 10.
Yep.
It's guaranteed. It is what it is. And I've proven it over and over and over again.
Yep.
Random lives. All right, RJ's going live on a Friday at 2:00, like the worst time possible. And y'all give me 30 leads, and it's like, boom. Yep, 1 out of 10. I dialed the phone 10 times, and I got a contract. It's like I saw on here, Tori said, I love the concept of PPO.
Well,
It's not a concept. It just needs to be the way that you do business. Wholesalers have to adapt to the way that this needs to be the way that you do business moving forward. That being said, I do have a question. Do you think that with this regulation, because the fear in wholesaling is when there's one regulation, there's going to be 5 that follow it. Mm-hmm. Will there be more future regulations moving forward?
No, the only I could see them taking one step further, but I would wish it upon, like, absolutely bring it on, which would be forcing all leads to be exclusive and not being able to sell leads to multiple parties. That's still absolutely legal. Assuming like there's a way to get through the one-to-one part, but it doesn't have to be one-to-one. And so leads can still be databased and sold multiple times. I do hope that it gets to that point because, like, great. All of us, that's what we all do anyways.
That's what we do. Yeah.
So yeah, past that, no, like this isn't a wholesaling. This isn't a real estate like issue, right? Like this is just lead generation. So this affects not us in this group. This affects Meta. This affects Google. This affects literally everybody. So it's only going to go as far as any of them allow it, right? And so I think exclusive one-to-one consent, even not one-to-one, but exclusive leads with intent to contact, I think that's got years and years and years.
Yeah, it's a data privacy thing that happened in like going back to like Cambridge Analytica leak with 2016. It's why Zuckerberg had to go in front of Congress. Like that's really where this started in the US at least. And like I said before, like the EU is doing this stuff with privacy sharing a long time ago. Yeah. And we're just a little more cavalier and maverick in the US, which it's like, that's fine. We're a capitalistic society. Like I think that's what it really is. It comes down to data and making sure that like you or your grandma's information is not getting, sold out there to take advantage of people. And so in the situation with PPL, like, yeah, like Drew said, it's not a wholesaling problem. Like no one's coming for y'all's income or y'all's livelihood in real estate investing. It just comes down to data. And I think that's just something that we at the macro scale have had to face with technology just going through the boom that that's happened over the last 20 years. And it's just getting to the point. And I also think this administration is not going to be the administration that like continues to clamp down on regulation. Like, if anything, I think we're going to see the opposite a little bit, or maybe just kind of things be put on ice, which is good. It's a good time to make money.
At the worst case, 10 years, you might look like, the 51st up here where we're a little more regulated, but I don't think it'd be any worse than that.
Drew can't wait for Canada to become the 51st state. Just everybody, for the record.
I can't either. I can't wait to do wholesaling in Canada.
Dude,
come on, baby.
Yeah, British Columbia wholesaling is going to go hard.
Sure. So real quick, I want to address this comment, and I'm going to be very aggressive with my answer here. Audi Luck says, everyone says something different. Mm-hmm. Brent Daniels is so PPC heavy.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Industry makes my brain hurt. everything works and nothing works. So here's the thing.
That's good.
Audi, I will give you a very direct answer. Okay. My good friends Ryan Pineda and Brent Daniels both called me about a year ago, and they asked about PPO. And I told them the honest truth about PPO. Here's the deal. Ryan Pineda tried PPO. And then he said, I am an all-American capitalist. I'm going to go make my own PPO. Congratulations, Ryan. We appreciate you. He's doing his thing. Brent Daniels tried PPO, and he decided, I don't like giving Drew money because I'm smart enough to figure out how to do PPC myself. So instead of spending $75 a lead, he figured out how to do $50 a lead, and he preaches that. Here's what I will say. I preach, have a hedgehog concept. I don't want to do what Drew does. I don't want to be good at PPC. I don't want to worry about regulations. I don't want to worry about meta ads. I don't like Zuckerberg. I don't want to fuck around in his world. I just want to call sellers and close deals. So I believe in PPL because I have no problem swiping my card and giving Drew money and Gene Boinkoff money or anybody money as long as it gives me a seller that raises their hand and says, I have property I want to sell. Yeah. So does it work? Here's what I would ask you. If you can go on anyone else's YouTube channel and see them do what I have done fucking repeatedly and relentlessly for years, then maybe theirs works. But you can go on my channel and you can see 50 days straight, 8 hours a day of me calling LeadZolo leads and closing. And I think close to 70% of the 125 contracts were directly from LeadZolo. You can go on my channel and you can see me only call LeadZolo leads and close a deal every single time. So does everything work? I don't know, but I do know what I do does work, and I've proven it to you time and time again.
And I think to your point too is that, like, people always say this, like, what's the best lead? Does it come from Facebook or X? And it's like it's the same person, guys. Like, it's the same person who goes on YouTube and Facebook. Like, I don't care if they scan the QR code on your own cake. Like I said earlier, like, it is a person raising their hand saying that I am somebody in need. And like you said, you just specialize in helping those people. And we just specialize in getting an advertisement in front of them. And
to be clear, there is no difference between PPL and PPC other than the fact that I am paying Drew and Cody for doing PPC for me.
Yep. We run PPC. Those leads are coming through the system all day. Yep.
And I have no problem with it.
Ask yourself, like, what social media app do you use? Do you only use one? Most people don't. Most people use several, and they use them for different reasons. And you're like, oh, cool. I check Facebook this often. I get on Instagram this often. I get on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. Most people are using multiple social media apps. Very few people are just like, this is the only one that I use. And so to Drew's point, is like, you're in the same audience. They're just, at what point did they finally fill out the form? Did they finally click on the thing? How many different RJ videos did I see before I finally was like, man, I need some help with my sales process. I need some help taking my business to the next level. It's just, that's how we work as human beings. Like, something that has been really interesting to me is just studying, how do we make decisions? How do I make decisions? How do we all make decisions? And that's what I love about our company. And that's what, honestly, I love about sales too, RJ, is we just get to understand, like, what does this person really want? And how can I help them get what they want? And everybody wins. So I think it's great. Like, if you're smart enough and you're like, oh, I'll run my own ads, great, go and do it. And you will step into our world and you'll see that it is not that simple, and you don't have all the control, and you need to spend the money. Same thing. If you get 20, 30 leads, from whatever provider, the system works when you work it. There's a million different ways to get in better shape, to build a business. Like, you could be a millionaire in real estate investing. You could be a millionaire by having a porta potty company. You could be like, there's a million different business models. It's like asking, what's the best business to start? It's like, that's a weird question to ask, and there's a complex answer, but the system works when you work it. And that's why RJ is successful. And that's how anyone can be successful if you guys stick with it. So
here's my fellow hockey brother, Justin. Justin, I love you, man, but I don't know what you're talking about right now. $500 per lead for a house in retail condition doesn't seem worth it to me. Now, let's just assume that astronomical price that you just gave is accurate. $500, which, by the way, I don't spend $500 for leads, so I don't know where that number came from, but let's just say it is, all right? And you close 1 out of every 10. That means you spent $5,000 to get a property under contract. Now, I know you're here in Dallas-Fort Worth, which means your average assignment fee should range somewhere in the range of 15 to 20 grand. So you spent 5,000. Say you made 15,000. That means you made $10,000 profit on that deal. Now, again, that's with your astronomical, non-realistic price. Here's the thing. You would still have 9 leads to follow up on. And this is where that compound effect really takes in. 6 months down the road, I'm now going to close another deal out of the leads that I got 2-3 months ago. And that's where during the 50-50-50, we got to 1 out of every 7 because of the follow-up and being relentless inside of that and me following up with each one of those leads. Now, Cody, you're going to walk us through the program now. And I would like for you to show how it's not $500. And there's so many different ways that you can buy leads where you're not spending $500. But even if you were spending $500, Justin, in DFW, what I would like to go through is even if you reverse engineered this with direct mail or cold calling or any other lead source, you're still going to be relatively high just because of the market that you're in on your average cost per contract, even though it's not going to be $5,000. I mean, that's just not a realistic number. So, Cody, do you want to go ahead and share your screen and walk us through the program?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the reality of how this platform works, you guys see that all right?
Yep.
So the reality of how this platform works is, like, if you're spending $500 per lead, like it's actually because you're getting in like a little bit of a contest with, you know, some dude down the road, right? So like it's actually not entirely necessary. So for those of you who have never seen it, so this is going to be our LeadZolo portal. So you can, you know, set your account up and get logged in. I have it on dark mode right now because I think it looks cooler. So you have a quick dashboard. You can see the leads that you've received. This is a test account, so there's not a lot of data in here. And then you go into bids, and you're like, cool, I want to buy leads in Dallas-Fort Worth. I want to buy them in Tarrant County. And so when I go in here, and I'm like, hey, I want a LeadZolo residential off-market lead. There's a number of different lead types. We have Spanish leads, commercial, off-market. You can also get some home light leads off-market. Land lot, mobile home, MLS listed. They all have slightly different prices at the different bid scopes, and I'll show you what that means in a second. But obviously, majority of leads are going to be our off-market leads at the residential level that everybody knows and loves, and that RJ closes a ton of. So you can come in here at the county, state level. We do have nationwide for now, but for most of the lead flow, you know, makes more sense. I'll show you in a second. Marketplace makes most sense to do at the county or state level, and you can pick your county, right? So you guys are over there in Tarrant County, I think, RJ.
Yep, Tarrant County.
So Tarrant County. So the bids start at $200, right? So this bid minimum. The way to think about this is not just an outright bid system. Leads always go to the higher bidder, because there's actually some logic that will keep you from paying whatever the top bid amount, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then also, it's really more of a priority, like round robin system, because someone else might have a cap. They might only receive 2 leads a day, so they might bid that exorbitantly high $500, and they're like, "Give me a lead for $500." But they might also have a cap of 2 leads, because who's just got a deep enough pockets to really go $500 per lead at scale? Not a lot of people, and you just don't need to. Some fun fact for you: our average bid on the platform, because we track this daily, is right around $240. So the bids aren't really that astronomically high, and if they do get that high, like I said, it's a little bit of a contest, and they don't really stay that high. So you select what bid do I want, and then I create that bid. And now what you've just signaled to the LeadZolo marketing team is, hey, I want leads in Tarrant County, and I'm willing to pay $200. And so that will show up in your bid. I've got a bunch here, so that's kind of buried. And so there it is, right? So I don't have enough money in my wallet to cover that. And so you'll see that. You'll see that I'm going to be receiving these leads in the round robin or distribution system when I'm up. And you'll actually see that I'm going to be paying $10 less for the lead because I have a customer badge. There's a whole customer badge system where it'll apply discounts based on dispute rate. And that's calculated based on spend, a rolling $5,000 in spend. Try not to go too deep in the weeds. And if you have deep in the weeds questions, then please drop them in the chat or grab a call with our team. So I can bid on leads here in different counties and states and different lead types. And then I can also buy leads immediately. Say I don't want to wait. I'm like, hey, I want to go close leads today. RJ's like, I want to close leads right now. So I can actually go and see what's on the marketplace to buy. So I don't have to wait for the priority system and the LeadZolo marketing team to deliver me leads. I can come and grab what I want, where I want it, and pay the price that I want right now. I can buy leads for this current price, and I can also place a buy order similar to stock market, and I can sort that by state as well as the type of lead that I want.
Show me Texas.
You got it, buddy. Show me Texas. Survey says, let's see how many we got. Cool. 7 leads right now. These rotate every 24 hours. So they come onto marketplace when we don't have a bidder. And then they just kind of tick down eBay style or reverse auction, eBay style, down and down and down. So we got a couple spots here. So in San Antonio,
$40 down there at the bottom.
$40 residential off-market lead. It was generated 22 hours ago. That person.
I mean, 135 for a residential off-market lead in San Antonio is crazy.
It's a deal. And as you can see, someone has placed a buy order at $95. So someone said, hey, I don't want that lead, 135, a little too rich for my blood. I'll take it at 95. Yeah. So they can place that buy order. And so I can go in here and say, hey, you know what? I'll take it at 100. And I can kind of, edge that person out, and they'll get a notification. Hey, someone's just outbid you on your buy order. But yeah, exactly, RJ. Like a San Antonio, Texas lead, great market. There's a lot. It's a growing metropolis. I used to live there actually, so I'm a big fan of San Antonio.
So real quick, because I just want to make sure that I'm not incorrect in what I was saying. Can you go back to placing a bid in the market where we did Tarrant County? Can you just check and see what Dallas County would be?
$200.
No, check Dallas County.
Oh, sorry.
Dallas County will probably be more, right? But I'm just curious to see how high we could actually get. And Dallas County is probably going to be one of the highest.
Yeah, 250 right now. I've seen it 350. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like we have some people who come in and they put in some high bids, but like I said, it's kind of it's a measuring contest, right? They're like, I want all the lead volume. There's something that's really cool about our priority system really quick. So $250, let's say it was $500. And it was like, geez, $500, man, that's rich for my blood. We have something called second step bid logic. It's a funny name. What it basically does is saves you money. So if you go in and you say, hey, $500, I want the lead. I want all the lead flow. Now, if RJ's the second place bidder, which obviously RJ's a competitive guy, so I don't know if that stay for a long time. But let's say RJ was at 250, I'm at 500. When I get the lead, I'm actually only going to pay 300 because of the second step bid logic. So it does not charge you the most amount of money. It charges you what is needed to get the lead. So one step above what the person in second place is in the bidding system, that's what you're going to pay to get the lead.
Gotcha. But listen, this right here is the reason why I love PPL, because I can sit in here as a nationwide investor. I can actually come in here and navigate the counties based off of what I'm paying per lead. And what I tell my team now is, hey guys, identify where you have a buyer that needs a deal right now, right? Whether that's in San Antonio, Tarrant, St. Louis, New Jersey, wherever it is, and then go in there and let's see how much money we can spend on these leads and then choose the leads wisely, right? What I did during the 50-50-50 was just insanity. I mean, it was just freaking Wyoming, West Virginia, Vermont. I mean, it was coming from all different angles, right? Yeah. But now we're a lot more strategic about that. And it's like, hey, we're pinpointing the locations, but it's also based off of the pricing, right? And this is what you guys have opened up and how beneficial that is for the wholesalers. So Justin, not to give you a hard time or anything, but that's what I wanted to show you right there is it's not necessarily that you have to spend $500 and you can be strategic about where you're picking. He wanted we filter out the condition of the property.
No, we can't filter out condition, but we definitely have different lead types. So like Cody was talking about the $200 leads, like those are our premium leads. We now have a partnership with HomeLight. So what HomeLight generates leads for their realtors. And what happens is they get all these leads of people wanting a cash offer and they don't know what to do with them. So we've made a partnership with them where we get those leads and they're listed at $75 a lead at the county level. Right. So they're attainable for somebody who wants a cheaper lead. There's also we also get people who fill out the form, but they're listed on the MLS and they're on contract with the realtor. Well, we know we're not selling those leads to you. but we need to do something with them. So you can come in and put $5 bids on those. Like, is it not worth? Would you buy somebody a Starbucks coffee if they came up and said, "Hey, I'm listed on the MLS and I'm pissed off with my realtor for not selling my house yet"? Like, it's a $5 conversation all day long. Or you have a new sales rep, give them $30 on Marketplace to get warmed up for the day.
Drew, we went live with Jerry Norton calling y'all's leads a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was one of the early one. It was hilarious. Me and Jerry were backstage 5 minutes before. Jerry, I've got the list of leads and I share it with Jerry. Jerry's hilarious when I go live with him. He's always like, will you just navigate all of the lead stuff and just tell me which one to call? I don't know why he's always like that. And I'm like, sure. I'm like, it's just a spreadsheet. We're just going to look at it together. And so I was like, the one thing I want you to pay attention to is like, some of these are listed on the MLS. So I don't want you to call those if we have like a super high motivated off market lead.
Yeah.
Okay. First dial, totally didn't look at it, called an MLS listed. And he had a fantastic conversation. And I believe it ended up, he got it under contract.
Unbelievable.
And that lead would have been sold, I think, for like what, $10, $15?
Yeah. You can scoop them up on Marketplace for $1.
Yeah.
After it counts down. Like, yeah, absolutely.
And the whole thing, the seller was basically like, yeah, it's listed right now, but I've been listed for 90 days. I'm like 10 days away from where I could terminate the listing, and I have to get rid of it. It was basically an off-market lead. It was just like, she just honestly answered it where it was like, well, yeah, as of today, I am listed, but 10 days from now, I'm not.
Yeah.
And I need to get rid of this. And it's like, dude, for $5, $10, whatever. I mean, the
Well,
ROI, that's huge.
You used to do that, didn't you, originally? Like calling MLS.
Yeah.
Right. This is basically getting the list of all the houses listed on the MLS in your area of the people who've raised their hands saying, I'm pissed off, my house isn't sold yet.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
yeah,
it.
you filter the days on market. Like, it's basically, that's, obviously we can control some of that stuff, but that's the level of intent you're dealing with. It's someone who's frustrated. They're like, dude, I got to move. Like, I need to get my family cross country. I got a job. I got this, I got that. We see that, high concentration in places. San Antonio, Texas, actually a good market, high concentration of military activity, places in Alabama, Georgia, East Coast. Like, you see a lot of that stuff come through the MLS filter, and it's just great. RJ, Nick asked me about something with the Metro competition. So I want to touch on that briefly. It's a little geeky. I like to geek out on this kind of stuff. It's why I'm the COO over here. If this stuff, like, I'll keep it really brief. And this is exactly the conversations that our support team is always having with our clients. We do these Metro data conversations, and basically what we do, it's like, okay, so you're in a high volume, high competition area. You're in Tarrant County. You're in Harris, Texas, or Harris County, Texas. And the bids are maybe a little higher. But what about some of these other counties that are next door? What about Humble, Texas? What about Tomball, Texas? What about Fort Worth, Plano, et cetera? And so there's other areas that, if you don't live there and it's not your neck of the woods and it's not your backyard, you may not know what neighborhoods and suburbs and other sides of that metro area are available to you. And we have all that data. We put all that stuff together, and it's in a fancy spreadsheet in an Airtable is what we use. And we actually review that with any of our customers. So we're like, hey, I know you're buying leads in Maricopa, and that's like where everybody tries to get leads. And at times it does drive the bid up, but what about next door? And so we'll show you guys where there's less competition and there is a lower bid price. And that's the kind of stuff that we want to disclose to everybody, because it helps us, honestly. If we have more coverage nationwide and more people are buying leads or bidding on leads in different places, then it's just going to make us more efficient. We're going to continue to be able to generate more leads. So that's how we set that stuff up, and that's the conversations that our client success team has. So
love it.
Hit that.
I had to give you guys credit from my side of things as an affiliate partner, someone that's been working with you guys for a couple of years now. The feedback over the past couple of months has been the customer service has dramatically gotten better. I know that's been a point of emphasis for you guys. So I want to give you a shout out. That has been noticed by the customers and the clients and everyone inside of TU. So congratulations on that, because I know that's something that you guys definitely wanted to work on. And it's awesome to hear, because we know the quality of the leads and stuff like that. And sometimes people get nitpicky on stupid stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, refund request got denied or something. And I'm like, oh, dude, See through the trees, baby. Come on now. Request.
It's hard, right? Like we're a startup like anything else, and we started up being two nerdy media buyers. Obviously, there was going to be something we weren't great at. So, you know, thanks for the feedback and everything like that. You know, we learned where we had to put our focus on. And honestly, now our customer success team is our company. Like they run everything now.
This is a relationship game, right? Our relationship with you, RJ, our relationship with everybody who comes over from Titanium U, any of y'all who are in the chat. What's up, Yash? And you know, we got one of our success team is here in the chat hanging out too, because she loves what you stand for, RJ. And there's a lot of similarities between, you know, some of even the points in y'all's story. And we're just excited to have these conversations. So it's like we geek out on the stuff, like Drew said, like we see all the data and stuff, and then we're like, all right, but how does this translate to helping y'all win and just overall increasing the bottom line of y'all's wholesaling business? So that's what we're stoked to do. And yeah, it's been a fun past couple of months, just like rebuilding things, growing the team, getting some amazing people in place, and just continue to do the thing.
All right, let's wrap this up and put a bow on it. I know that we have some special.
Yep.
Nick was telling me about it. There's like $2,500 get you something else, or I'll let you guys sell that. But basically, you need to sign up for LeadZolo today. It's free. Start buying leads in February. You're immediately inside of the competition. And all you got to do is either get the most deals, had the best closing percent, or the fastest. You're not getting the fastest, okay? I'm winning that one. That one's over. I'm going to record it. It's going to be my fastest YouTube. I'm getting a lead. I'm getting a tired landlord on the phone. I'm telling you exactly how this is going to go down. I'm going to tell him, tell me your damn price, and I'm going to send you a contract right now, and we're going to lock it. I'm going to lock it up. I'm going to get it in like 2 minutes and 22 seconds or less. That's my goal.
I can't wait to clip that and put it just before the actual recording.
And here it is.
It happen.
That's my goal, 2 minutes or 22 seconds. So what is the deal about if you deposit X amount of dollars, you get a bonus?
Yep. So for you guys in the RJ universe, in the Titanium universe, so for anybody who jumps in here and comes in mentioning RJ and Titanium University, et cetera, you guys will have access to an incentive where if you deposit $2,500, we will add $500. We'll give you $500 in house money to start bidding on leads. So that will go towards obviously your contracts in February to win LeadZolo games. So we want to make it a little more approachable for you guys to get started and load up the wallet, right? So obviously, yes, we are a pay-per-lead company. So for every $2,500, you guys get 500 in incentive credits.
There you go. I love it. Drew, man, we've been doing this a long time. We've come a long way from the early spreadsheet days.
Yeah, that's true. It took a couple years to get there. But we're off the spreadsheets. The product's still the same, you know, but it looks awesome now, eh? Do you like the software?
You know what I love about you guys is, like you said, Drew, you were just a couple of nerdy media buyers, right? You were really good at what you were doing. It was everything else that had to come along the way. And I love how you have really come up with inside of the industry and listening to the feedback from people like me and other people that you guys have worked with. It's been really awesome to see you guys come up and realistically make such a difference for so many people's lives. I think that's something that maybe you guys don't really realize, but man, there's people inside Titanium University that, I mean, I'd say at least once a week, there's someone that has a breakthrough in their business where me and Cassie are moved to tears at least once a week. And PPL is a huge part of that. You guys, Property Lead, Speed to Lead, those are the 3 programs that we use. And it's everybody inside of TU is using, you know, you guys. And to see people talk about their ability to leave their W-2, their ability to now create the business that they want, leave the legacy that they want inside of their lives. I just want you guys to realize that it's making a huge difference for a lot of people. And without you guys, everything that we teach would be so much harder. And I say that because we did teach how to do this before we had you guys. And I am so much happier with my life and how easier it is to make a difference in these people's lives. Like, hey, use the closers formula. Here's how you comp and underwrite. This is how you dispo. It's not, this is how you find the motivated seller. Now it's just swipe your card. Don't find the motivated seller for you. So from me and everybody inside of TU, man, thank you for what you guys do on a daily basis.
I really appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, it's interesting. We spend a lot of time looking at the support desk and support tickets, and it is definitely hard to maintain that perspective. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah, we love this industry. We're fortunate to have had some experience in other industries, running a different agency. When we found this industry and this click, we knew it was right. So I'm very excited and blessed that we've been able to impact as many people as we have so far. And 2025 is going to be our best year yet.
Dude, I will tell you, like, on a deeper level, yesterday, Cassie and I had our implementation call. I'm not going to name their names, but there was two gentlemen inside of TU that talked about the simultaneous of joining TU, getting started into wholesaling, and then figuring out that this concept could actually be the difference and be the business that they run that could change their lives. And it moves so much further than the amount of money that they make, because now they realize making money is just what they do, right? The business naturally just makes money because they know how the leads come in, they know how to close, they know how to comp and underwrite, they know how to dispo. So now the making money, both of them have shared with us that they are completely sober from different things that had impacted their lives. And why is that the case? Well, a lot of times people move to a vice because they're miserable. They don't know what to do. They're struggling with making money. And dude, when I say what you guys do and what we are teaching makes a difference in so many people's lives, I mean, it is shocking. And it matters. And so when we talk about like these PPL regulations coming down, I stand on what I say, that this is only for the better inside of our industry.
Yeah.
It's only going to be better, and it's going to be easier for us to talk to more motivated sellers and make an even bigger difference for our lives. So, man, I'm super excited about what's coming, and let's go make some money in February.
Yeah, let's create some more compelling futures like that. Like that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So LeadZolo games, February 1st through, basically you have to buy the lead inside of February. So February,
the lead needs to be generated in February, right? The contract shuffling, all that kind of stuff. We'll get that tightened up in March. But yeah, February.
Cool.
There you go. The man who got robbed at the Closers Olympics. If you're on the fence from a nobody, these guys are the truth. Leads are great. RJ's a decent closer. You see, here's the thing. I've always given you a shout out, man. You come in here and still give me a hard time. Hey, real quick, Drew, to end on a funny note, since I got serious there at the end.
Yeah.
I saw that you're only giving away prizes for first and second place.
That's right.
Not third place. I mean, dude, guys like Max and Naaman are going to be really upset. You finish in third place.
We try to at least create different categories for everybody, so that everybody could compete. But I like what you're saying. You know, maybe we should do another games next month, and we should directly call them out.
All right,
that's what the random giveaways for.
Yeah, for the guys that finish in third. Last question. You guys were a huge part of the Closers Olympics. I haven't heard anything. My theory is that they're still trying to find good closers to compete against me.
Well,
have you heard anything?
I have actually, and maybe now's the time to bring this up. Elijah said anybody that could pass our $1,000 challenge, he'd be willing to put on the roster for Closers Olympics this year. So maybe you got to do the $1,000 challenge on February 3rd, enter the games, and see if you can get a contract for $1,000 off Marketplace.
There you go. So February 3rd, what do you have to do?
we'll hook you up. We'll get you a portal with $1,000 in it, and you have $1,000 to get a contract.
Bro, come on.
It's easy.
That gets you in the Closers Olympics?
That's what will get you into the Closers Olympics. And we're going to do a series of these $1,000 challenges. So anybody listening, you should be one of our customers. So go to LeadZolo.com and fill in an application. But we will be challenging everybody in our community and everybody outside of our community to try these $1,000 challenges so that we could put together a Closer Olympics roster with Elijah.
Drew, listen, you've got Elijah's ear, okay? He won't listen to me. All right.
He'll listen to me.
Can you just tell the guy that I need to pick my competition?
Well, you need to challenge your competition. Get him on the $1,000 challenge.
Oh, man. I'm just saying. I mean, he keeps bringing these bums like Munif and Keith Everett. Like, how many times do I have to beat the same guys? I need new, fresh meat. Okay.
Who do you need? Who do you want to call out?
I would call out anyone inside of Titanium University because they actually know how to close. And I would also personally challenge anyone inside of Sub 2 or Results Driven or from Eric Klein. Those three, Tiffany, Pace, and Eric, can pick the closer, and I promise you they can compete against me because I know those three, they won't compete. They got way too much to lose. Those three, they won't compete.
What about the 7-figure cartel?
Listen, I mean, Nick himself came in 2021. He had to retire. It was so bad. He retired for 4 years after I beat him. He just now finally unretired.
I know he almost fell off his chair when we were talking about the games and putting the 7-figure cartel against Titanium.
I'm just saying.
Maybe that's what we do. It's group by group. It's the entire Titanium group against one of the others.
All I'm saying is the last time Nick entered a competition with me, retired for 4 years. I don't know if he can sustain another retirement.
I got to record this on my phone, I think, and text it to him.
That's it.
It'll get to him.
Any other group, I mean, I don't care. Chris Jefferson, apparently he's got a big group. He could send somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love it.
So we're doing the Closers Olympics again. I wonder right there, that could be where the third belt goes, right above my head. That's where the next one's going to go. I'm already planning where the belt's going to go.
All right. I'll talk to Elijah tonight.
That's it. All right. You do that. LeadZolo games, win your share of $15,000. All you got to do is buy leads and do what you're already doing. Close deals.
Do what you're already doing.
Coolest competition of all time. Drew, Cody, appreciate you for being on here, man.
Appreciate you, RJ.
Good to be here. Thank you, RJ.
See you guys.
See ya.
Later.